Hey friend, this is episode number 537 of the And So podcast with Taylor Bradford. Let's get to it. Boss Girl Creative presents And So with Taylor Bradford, business and life musings from a successful serial entrepreneur. Each week, you will hear Taylor spill the tea on all things business, life, relationships, health, and everything in between. But don't worry, each week also includes a business nugget that will help you stay on course. And now a throwback to 3-year-old Taylor who inspired all of this.
And so.
Hello, welcome to this episode of the podcast. I am your host, Taylor Bradford. Thank you so much for being here, for hitting that play button. I so appreciate you more than you will ever know. So, these are the moments that I kind of wish I had video. It will happen one day in the future when my podcast studio is built and created and all the things, but you cannot see me, but I hope you know that I am lit up inside about what I'm going to be talking about today. So, yeah, let's get there. But first, I have a question for you, a real quick one. When was the last time you actually checked in with yourself? Not checked off your list, not checked your stats. I mean, stopped the scroll, paused the spiral, and asked, what's actually working here? That's why I created the Clarity Catch-Up, a free mini workbook that gives you a short, powerful reset when your brain feels like it's doing the most and still stuck. Grab it at bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. No strategy, just a breath, a brain check, and a better next step. Again, grab it free. Go to bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. Let's get into the topics for the week. I'm going to start off with my garden. I did finally, I started clearing out my spring tomato plants. I also started processing my garlic that I pulled out of the ground in, I think it was late May, early June. And I started working on processing. It's been curing this whole time. So I started working on processing it because I really wanted to try my hand at making garlic powder from my own garlic. So I started that this weekend, and OMG, homegrown garlic is stout. Wow, that is some powerful stuff. I started processing it. Ultimately, what that means is I just took the skins off to get to the actual cloves, and then I put all of the cloves into a food processor, and I minced it all up so that I could spread it out on parchment paper, and then I stuck that in my dehydrator, and I just have a Ninja Foodie that has a dehydrator mode. I started that, and at 125, I meant 120, but it started at 125, and I was going to run it for 6 hours and then check it. And I started it, I probably had 15, 20 minutes in it, and my husband came out of our room and he was like, "What are you cooking?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just processing my garlic. I'm dehydrating it." He was like, "You're going to stop that right now." Because it was so powerful. It was like literally making my eyeballs water. So I did hit pause. And then this morning I got up and took my Ninja Foodie out to my back patio and I turned it on outside. You talk about making sure vampires never show up. Just dehydrate some homegrown garlic. That is what you should do. So that's fun. I sold some pumpkins today. That was really exciting. And I'm selling some of my loofah sponge and seeds this week in the farm stand. So excited for that, to meet somebody new too. Still waiting on the house. My actual metal building builder is having some difficulties with some of the measurements that are in my plans. So we've been going back and forth trying to get things ironed out. We did start draining our pond so that we can finally fix the pond and make it hold more water than it's holding right now. It's holding a ton of water right now, but it's not in the shape or in like the manner that it needs to in order to fill it fully up. So we started draining it. And tomorrow, I'm really excited. I'm meeting landscapers out there because I want to start with the pond. Once the pond is shaped, I want to get the pond landscaped. And so I'm meeting them out there tomorrow to talk about that, but also to kind of like give them big picture of what, like I want to do this in phases. And I don't really know if I want them doing all of the work or part of the work or some of the work or just the design. I don't really know. So I'm really excited to meet them out there tomorrow. And then books. I finally finished The Women of Arlington Hall. That was one I was physically reading, not listening to. I really wish it was in audio form, but it wasn't. Really good book. Gave it 4 stars. Jane Healy. I really enjoyed it. Historical fiction. Highly recommend that one. I also finished The Page Turner, 4 stars by Viola Shipman. It was a fun kind of chick lit kind of a read. It had some depth to it for sure. Highly recommend it. And then The Missing Half, which was a crime/thriller written by Ashley Flowers, 4 stars. Definitely recommend listening to that one or reading it. It was a good premise, and I totally didn't see the ending coming. Totally didn't see it. Okay, let's get into search bar confessions for the week. Nello, super calm. I kind of feel like my cortisol levels are out of whack, so I've been looking to figure out how to fix that without going to get blood work, which I should probably go get blood work and then really see if my cortisol levels are out of whack or I just think that and I'm self-diagnosing myself. Also was Googling the Boston clog. I think it's a clog. It's a Birkenstock. I really want a new fall shoe and I love Birkenstocks. And this is the one I want. So I've been Googling. And right now it's not in stock via Amazon, which totally sucks. But here we are. I also Googled, can you make a team member log in on eBay? In case you were curious, the answer is yes. And you can set them up with different abilities. I also Googled fresh pasta recipe because I was craving pasta, but then I wasn't really all that in the mood to actually make it. So I went and ordered Olive Garden because that's, authentic Italian food there for you. And then finally, how to actually dehydrate garlic. That was what rounded out my search bar confessions for the week. Now let's get into the business nugget because this is what I am really excited to talk about. The business nugget for the week is all about the rule of 5 ones. I learned this through Maria Wendt, Wendt. I love following her. I own a lot of the things that she puts out. But she learned this from Taki Moore. And here is what it is, the rule of 5 ones. Solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year. So now let's talk about why this is lighting me up. You guys know, if you've been listening for at least 2025, that I started way back in the beginning of the year, I started doing a social media compounding interest theory. I was really working on growth of my social media accounts, and I saw growth on my YouTube, I saw growth on my TikTok, and I saw very minimal growth on my Instagram. Surprisingly enough, I've seen more growth on my Instagram lately because I feel like I've dialed in some more into my target audience for my personal Instagram. But I'm still growing in the other places. I'm just not producing the amount of content I was during that experiment. But it all does fall back into the rule of 5 ones, and we're going to get there. So how in the world did I get to this? What led me into this spiral? I'm in Maria's Facebook group. You have to buy in to get in to the Facebook group, which is actually kind of genius. So it is one of her upsells at some point in her funnel systems with the things that she sells. And she is nearly an 8-figure earner, which is crazy pants. She is hitting like, I don't know, $600,000, $700,000 months selling digital products online. And she has solid information. She's producing solid information. The only thing that I have a beef with is she utilizes her income claims. Like she shares her income. And that really actually is against the Federal Trade Commission. So I am not going to say that that is a business method you should employ in your own business or a business tactic that you should employ in your own business. It's wild social proof for people that do that. But let me tell you, it truly is against the Federal Trade Commission's rules because that's not normal for people. It truly, the kind of income she's earning, legitimately earning without being like, without pulling the rug over your eyes is, it's replicatable, but to an extent. And not everybody's going to be able to do it. So I saw in her Facebook group, this girl mention that she had a 6-figure month. And so, of course, people are like congratulating her and like asking her what of Maria's courses she went through and when did she start, et cetera, et cetera. She started in May of this year. So just a few months ago. And she really dialed in. She took several of Maria's courses and then everybody wanted to know what her offer was. Like, what are you teaching? What are you selling? And this girl sells a course on how to rent rooms to veterans that need housing, which is super niched. I don't know her mythologies. I don't know how she does it. I don't know the education behind it and who you have to call. I am a landlord. I do have a vacancy. I am curious, but not curious enough to buy into her education system. But again, I know that's what she sells. And she had a 6-figure month. And her stepping stones started with a few of Maria's courses, which of course, I'm like, oh, I know I have those. Let me go back and dial in and see what am I missing. And the biggest thing that I was like, oh, okay. So I experimented with the compounding social media interest back in the beginning of the year, but I didn't really have this other component in the mix. Had I had the other component in the mix, the offer, I probably would have been more successful than I was. And so I spiraled into this rabbit hole of, okay, let's figure this out. Let's see what I could streamline. Let's see what my offers are going to be. And I had already, so I'm thinking about this from the House of Sugar Creek and my gardening and homesteading content, but really I'm focused in on the garden side right now. And then for Boss Girl Creative, I just created an offer suite. So I have the Clarity Catch-Up, which is the freebie. I have the Clarity Code, which is my reflection deck for creatives in motion. I just added the Clarity Shot, which is a one-time, you send me what your problem is, and I'm going to send you some audio feedback back to give you the clarity you're hunting for right now in this moment. And then I have my one-on-one coaching, my back pocket coaching, which is actually done in Voxer form. And so I have that, but then I switched it. So it's still back pocket coaching, but it's monthly. And you can cancel at any time, but it's monthly back pocket coaching. So you would have access to me and my brain for a month for a set price, a monthly price. So that is my current offer suite? And so as I'm going down this rabbit hole of the rule of 5 ones and making money and like teeing up or queuing up this offer suite that I have for Boss Girl. And then also, like, I was thinking to myself recently, one of the girls that I follow on my personal Instagram, I actually gave her a shout out or talked about her in a previous episode, and she just listened to that episode and she was like, oh my gosh, you were talking about me. I'm going to talk about you again, Danielle. She was like, hey, I think it would be really fun to collaborate on something since I am gardening in my backyard and you are gardening in the ground and I'm doing raised beds and container and small space and you're doing large space in ground, etc. I think it'd be really fun to collaborate. So I've been kind of like noodling on what we could collaborate on. And it's also kind of pitched me down this rabbit hole of, well, what else could I do? Like, I want to be more than just a lifestyle content creator. I want to be able to offer something to sell. And I was like, okay, well, I can just follow this method. The whole purpose of this method, this rule of 5 ones, is to follow this until you hit your first 1 million. And a lot of people that really dial this in, that like follow this to a T, hit their 1 million before the year ends. And I'm like, all right. Here's another experiment for me to test. Now I'm going to need an actual course, which if you know me, I have worked really hard not to do. But I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm going to be creating 2 courses. One for gardening content and one for Boss Girl Creative. The one for Boss Girl Creative has a name now. It is called the Clarity Fix, and you will be able to fix something you're stuck on within 3 hours. And so it's not something that's going to take 90 days for you to get a result. And I'm not promising a financial uptake or anything. I am promising you will find clarity to fix the thing that is holding you stuck within 3 hours. That is what I'm promising. So that is called the Clarity Fix. I've already started my outline. I've already started scripting my videos. That thing is like we're in production mode. For the blog, for the gardening side, the House of Sugar Creek, I really wanted to focus on pests and treating pests organically, because what I see out in the garden world and what I have I've gone down so many rabbit holes of other gardeners' content and what are they selling and what are they offering. And a lot of them are doing just basics and covering a lot of things for newbie gardeners, whether that's creating a planner or creating a seasonal thing. But what people forget, and this is what I'm staring at the rule of 5 ones, solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year. That is what I see is the gap, the missing piece for a lot of people creating content. And even when I was spitballing with ChatGPT and asking it, what are people selling as a digital product or a digital course in the gardening niche? It came back with apps. It came back with planners. It came back with these things that I keep seeing over and over and over, but not anything specific to fix for a gardener. And same thing in the business coaching world. A lot of times people are going to focus on just these overall umbrella things. I'm going to teach you how to use Pinterest, and I'm going to teach you how to use Instagram, and I'm going to teach you how to use Facebook. They don't dial in to be specific to fix a problem. But also you got to be really careful, because as I'm spitballing, and I'm going to go back to my gardening idea, I'm spitballing with ChatGPT and I'm trying to figure out where is the through line. And I'm in Texas 8B, that is my zone. The zones really don't matter. It's all about your frost dates. But it really wanted to stick Texas 8B to my course. And I'm like, Yeah, but I really want to talk about pests. And pests happen all over the country. You may see more of one kind of pest if you're in a really rainy area versus another kind of pest if you're in a dry area. But I can teach you how to organically take care of pests in your garden. And I don't have to super niche down. I'm still solving a very specific problem, pests in the garden, and we're going to do it organically. I think that that's what hangs people up. So, rule of 5-1, solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year until you hit 1 million in gross revenue, not net revenue, gross revenue. So, how do we even get there? How do we think about that more so we get the balls rolling in our own heads? Your product has to have a simple name. It cannot be something cutesy. It can't be something that people have no idea what it is that you're selling. It needs to solve a very specific problem, but not too specific that you limit your audience. It needs to be easy to get, and I'm air quoting here, not like obtainable. Yes, you don't want to make it hard for somebody to get it, but it has to be easy to get, like comprehension. It also has to be something a lot of people struggle with. And if you're a gardener, you are going to struggle with pests, no matter what type of gardener you are. In business, you're going to struggle with clarity. You're going to put an offer out there. I'm raising my hand. This happens to me a lot. I put offers out there and I think they're no-brainers, but I'm still missing the mark. I haven't found full clarity in order to make it connect. So it has to be something a lot of people struggle with, and everybody struggles with clarity. Your landing checkout page has to have very little text. Your price has to be a no-brainer, and it has to be packaged to share. These are the things your product has to have, regardless of if it's a printable, a course, a product that you actually sell. All of these things have to be there for your product. And then also, once that's done, you will either have a traffic problem or an offer problem, and all of those are easy to solve. And how do you do that? Thinking about these rule of 5-1s, you have to make content consistently. Maria actually has a traffic hack in one of the courses I was taking over the weekend. 3 basics for 90 days and no misses. This will solve your traffic problem. A daily reel posted at the same time every day for 90 days. You can't miss. If you miss, you start over. 1 link in bio directly to your checkout page for 90 days. And 1 pitch in stories for 90 days. Changed up, but still a pitch. That will help you with a traffic problem. And if I go back and I start thinking towards the social media compounding interest theory that I was working earlier in the year, and I didn't have an offer to sell. I just simply was trying to gain traction and was so focused on followers. And that still works, but you don't need a bunch of followers to make money. You truly don't. You just need eyeballs on the thing that you're selling, and that takes traffic. Well, how do you get traffic? You create reels. You create reels on Instagram. So if your focus is going to be Instagram or even Facebook or even TikTok, you create short form content and you post it consistently. You can even do this 90-day challenge. Once my course is created, once they are both created, I will be doing this 90-day challenge just to see what I can do. Plus, I'm going to dive really strictly into the rule of 5-1s. I'm going to solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year. Because here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about. If you have at least 100 followers on Instagram, for example, you should be making $50 to $100 a day. If you have at minimum 100 followers on Instagram. Holy crap. I have never seen a stat put out there that was tangible, in writing. Somebody say that. And I can see how that is true. So, if you are trying to chase $1 million, if you're going to do this rule of 5-1, solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year to reach $1 million in sales, all you need is 100 people to be making $50 to $100 a day to get started. But you have capacity. If you did a $97 course, that's a no-brainer. So we go back to the product has to have a simple name. It needs to solve a specific problem. It needs to be easy to get. It has to be something a lot of people struggle with. It's got to have a very simple landing or checkout page with very little text on it. It doesn't have to be this super long, in-depth thing. And it's packaged to share and the price is a no-brainer, as I've said. Then making money shouldn't be hard. And you should, at minimum, with at least 100 followers, be making $50 to $100 a day. So if we look at the math, if I price my course at $97 and I have upsells, downsells, bonuses, order bumps, whatever you want to call it, and I can get to an average of $400 a sale or $400 in the life of the customer, can you see how that can add up? And you're making reels every day. So you're going to do this 90-day challenge. You're going to make a reel every day, post at the same time. You're not going to skip. You're going to post one CTA, call to action. You're going to sell in your stories once a day as well. You're going to make sure your bio only links to your checkout page. You're going to do that for 90 days. And it's going to propel you into making money, especially if your offer is a no-brainer, especially if it solves a problem. And you can use ChatGPT to help you figure out, like in the forums, go check the forums that this person is using. What questions are they asking? What are they needing help with? Like, put it out there. Let ChatGPT be the legs to go do your research to figure out what would be a viral product for you and your niche. Like, there's ways to get that figured out. I need you to figure that out, especially if you also should be making money. And I should have been making money like this whole time. I've just been, I don't know, human, but also really struggling, to be honest, with like, what can I back? Right? Because that's the other part of this for me. What can I back? What can I stand behind that aligns with my soul? And what aligns with my soul is helping you find clarity. Like, if you just listen to any of my past episodes, I mean, this is episode 537. I've been doing this for quite some time. The podcast turned 10, July 2025. I am a 7-figure entrepreneur. I don't actively say that out loud, because hello FTC, but I don't use it as a marketing tactic. I make that kind of money in my life currently. I am very, what is the word? I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I'm very diversified. And now I'm going to go out and I'm going to attempt this on 2 brands to see what I can do. I've done it in other businesses, which are not online per se, but I'm going to try this, and I'm obviously going to document it. Hello, podcast content. So, who's with me? Who is with me with this rule of 5-1, solving one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year? Who's with me? Because I know you have it in you. And the fact that I saw the stat on we should be making $50 to $100 a day with a minimum of 100 followers on a platform shocked me to my core. And I'm like, I know I want to be a lifestyle influencer. I so badly want that. I want to work with dream brands. I want to have paid collaborations. But also, In order to help me get there, I need to grow a community so that I actually have something worth watching, or other people are watching me when I do produce that content with those dream brands, right? They got to have an ROI too. So here we are. Let's do it. I'm putting this challenge out to you. The rule of 5 ones, again, I'm just going to keep repeating them. Solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year. I see, because I'm in her group, I see people making life-changing money. I see them do it. They have dialed in their offer, and it is truly their offer. It's not MRR, master resale rights. They're not selling somebody else's course. It is truly the thing that they created, that they are passionate about, that they have knowledge about, and they're out there selling it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, that was really the kick in the pants that I needed. I don't even know the girl that I saw make that claim. Like, she was just celebrating a really cool win, getting veterans into homes. Like, that's such a cool thing. Such a cool thing. So yeah, let's do it, you guys. Let's do it. And again, I want you, because we all need clarity. We all need it. You may not need it right now, or maybe you do need it right now. But reminder, I've got that free mini workbook that gives you a short, powerful reset when your brain feels like it's doing the most and still stuck. You can grab it for free at bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. And by the time I get my course created, that is literally all I'm going to be talking about. Actually, no, because I will be focusing on selling that course through Instagram. And so I will still be doing other things through the podcast. I will randomly mention that course, but the focus will be on one platform for that specifically. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Come message me over on Instagram at bossgirlcreative. Until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And for those that have reached out recently, I truly, it just brings me so much joy and makes my day when I see you land in my DMs. Okay, until next time, have a great rest of your week.
Let's go.
And like my 3-year-old self said, that is all for this week. Friendly reminder to rate and review my show wherever you are listening. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me an audio message at bossgirlcreative.com/speak. I would love to hear your takeaways, ideas for upcoming episode topics, and your feedback. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of this one.